Hi there, YouTube. It's Kurt here. Today we're going to take a look at Orcust, and it looks like this is going to be the most Orcust-heavy format we've had in a while. Now, the ban list might come next month, and then Orcust might actually get Mermaid hit. There's no way to tell. I'm not sure. I have not heard anything outside of that, but you never know. It could get hit and not be in the format, or it could just stay in the format forever. It's just a really splashable engine, and it's just kind of, well, it is kind of annoying to deal with. Now, I'm not saying Orcust is the most uncreative deck that's in the format right now, but I actually prefer to just not even deal with it whatsoever. And anytime you have a popular deck, you want to find the best way to counter it. And the thing about Orcust is that Orcust has such both good recovery and is resistant to a lot of hand traps that are in the format. Now, the thing about Orcust, yes, it can get ashed. If it's ashed during the Mermaid, if anything happens to the Mermaid, sometimes that can be a tough time to play through. But now Orcust is playing so many extenders and variants that a lot of times it doesn't even worry about those much. So with this in mind, what can we do about Orcust that is really, really efficient? All right, so we'll get into the hand traps here, and we'll discuss. I'll discuss the popular ones. So obviously, the first thing you need to be aware of is Lancia. If you don't know what Artifact Lancia does, well, you probably haven't played last format because that was the most popular side deck card. And it still is a very popular card for a good reason. Orcust is running kind of rampant right now. And if you get this card off and it resolves, well, your opponent really can't do anything. But I figured pretty much everybody knows about this card. So, and other hand traps like Veiler, Ash, and Impermanence, obviously those will get the job done most of the time, or at least can get the job done, but they are not always guaranteed. So let's look at some other cards. So this is probably my favorite one. All right, so System Down is a pretty old printing, but it actually comes up against the Orcust matchup. Because if this is just pure crescendo bait, and if they don't have crescendo set, well, they're just kind of, shit out of luck at this point, because they're going to have all of their Orcust monsters banished from the field and graveyard. Say for if they have Dingirtsu on the field, then the XYZ material will go to the graveyard. But nonetheless, this is a crazy card against the matchup, and pretty much guarantees that you're going to be able to have a turn, because either it's going to be crescendo bait or their Dingirtsu is all of a sudden not going to be a problem anymore. So if you activate this, that's going to be a very, 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 very good thing for you. Now, obviously, back row removal can be very good against this matchup. The thing I hate about Twin Twisters obviously is cost, and if it gets crescendoed, well, then that really, really hurts at that point. But I really do like things like I do like MST, but the thing is about Dingirtsu actually protects the field spell by itself, and that's what kind of makes Dingirtsu a little bit busted. So, Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone is really good in the matchup because you can play it as a quick play on your draw phase, just activate it, and either it'll bait the crescendo, or you can use it on the crescendo and it'll banish, and it's not protected by Dingirtsu. So this is also a card that you really want to be aware of. So, other things that the Orcust matchup is weak to. It's definitely not weak to most of the promos, but actually, most of the promos of the last set were actually really good. So Dimension Shifter, this deck has a really, really hard time playing around Dimension Shifter. There are a couple moves that it can do, and if they open up a crescendo, they can end on Galatea, and that's decent. If they open up like Destruder or something, if they're running that build, maybe they can end on some sort of level 7 synchro of that nature, but chances are they're not going to be able to. So Dimension Shifter will shut off the turn, but most decks cannot play Dimension Shifter. It really messes with their strategy. So let's look at the other ones. Dark Ruler, no more, not that great. A lot of time Dingirtsu, maybe you'll negate the Dingirtsu, but they just have too good of recovery. You want to ensure that you have total board control after the turn, so I wouldn't really recommend Dark Ruler. But Nibiru does have some utility here. So Nibiru, the tricky thing about Nibiru is that sometimes if you activate it during the wrong time at Orcust, they can pretty much build back their board just fine. And really, I don't have that many. I am still kind of figuring this out with the standard combo. It might be better to sometimes it's better to activate it before Galatea can activate its effect. If you do that, well, then they have to eat up resources to get that back on the field, and then make Dingirtsu, and their board is a lot less formidable. Or you could just wait until the end of the combo. Sometimes at the end of the combo, they have 2 monsters on board, and that can be like a Link 3 and then something else that's formidable behind it. If you wait till the end of the combo, and the phase change, then you're able to really eat up those monsters and then have a better form of play from there. They can still possibly summon Dingirtsu from the graveyard, but you're still going to be in a lot better position than you were. Now, these are my favorite tech options for... Oh, also, a lot of people are playing Nightmare Corruptor Ibly. So if you're facing Ibly, if you're really weak to it, it's going to be heavy in this format. If you have space in your extra deck, and you're playing Rogue strategy, I have space in my extra deck because I like to play trains. That's just my thing. I also like to play Gren Maju, but I want to be able to special summon. So if you put your own Nightmare Mermaid in your extra deck, well, that will link away your Ibly, and then you can make a way. You basically just had a free link material because they just summoned a free link material to your field, and then you go off with Mermaid, and that's also really good in the mirror match, of course. But these are what I've come up with, guys. Also, one more. Mystic Mine is actually impressively good against the matchup. If you resolve Mystic Mine, most people don't have enough in their deck to really deal with it. Even if they chain their Symbol Skeleton, they get Dingirtsu on the field, that still is going to resolve, and Dingirtsu can't activate its effect. So, I know a lot of people think this card is degenerate, but it does work in the matchup. Alright, so if you guys have any ideas, if you have any tech options that a lot of people aren't aware of that really work against this matchup, let us know in the comments, and I really appreciate you guys giving this view and stuff. So I've been working a lot lately, so not that many videos, but hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. So thanks again, guys. Peace.